Somewhere, a faint voice rang out. Please. From that voice, we could see a monster gnawing on a remaining piece of cloth. A girl was surrounded by a horde of monsters. Her voice was weak. Just kill me. Let me be the one to die. Tears fell from her eyes, as if she had given up on everything. To understand the cause, we need to go back to not long before that. As they all stood before the door, a man in red said, Hyun-chan, think this through. Nobody knows about T hidden dungeon. If we clear it ourselves on keep quiet, we're golden. Nara spoke up. I'm in. We're hunters, aren't we? And yet they pay us scraps for dungeon clears. Hyun-chan pondered for a moment, then spoke. All right, let's do it ourselves. Choi's face grew worried. She said, maybe we shouldn't go. I mean, T could get really dangerous. Hyun-chan placed his hand firmly on her shoulder and called out, Choi, when are we ever going to get a shot like this again? Everyone's down. Why are you the only one backing out? Do you have to make me look bad in front of everyone? Choi's face darkened. Her voice trembled. No, that's not what I meant. I've got a bad feeling bugs are going to swarm us again, like before. Hyun-chan gave a forced smile. Choi, how much longer are you going to freak out over bug types when you are the tank? Don't you remember how bad things got last time because of you? If it's that much of a struggle, maybe it's time to quit. We're not that desperate for a C-rank tank. And really, do you think another guild would take you in without me? Exactly, you're doing the smart thing. Just trust me and stick with the plan. These words made her think to herself, you're right. It's only thanks to Hyun-chan that I even joined this guild. I was just being selfish. Hyun-chan glared, a dangerous smile spreading across his face as he continued. I'm your boyfriend, so obviously I'm only saying this because I care. You get what I mean, don't you? Yeah, thanks Hyun-chan. Okay then, let's move out. You're the tank. Geo on ahead. Eventually, Choi agreed to his request. Hyun-chan, the only one who accepts me for who I really am. I can't let Hyun-chan down again. Then everyone proceeded inside. As their footsteps came to a halt, a horde of monsters appeared before them. The man in red immediately shouted, What the hell? Why are there so freaking many? The monsters immediately charged forward. Everyone else also became panicked. Keep them grouped, take them down, worry about your own part. Hyun-chan immediately gave an order. Choi, we've got these things covered. Just stay strong and keep the front line tight. She replied, yeah. While fighting the monster, she thought, hold on, I have to stay up. If I can just hang in there, the others can finish them off safely. No, don't lose it now. We're almost through this. A monster was instantly taken down. These monsters, there's way too many. Hyun-chan, what do we do? By this point, Choi seemed unable to endure it any longer. It hurts like hell. I can't keep this up. How much longer do I have to do this? Hyun-chan, heal me, now. I can't take it anymore. Looking back, everyone had abandoned her and run away. This made Choi disbelieve her own eyes. You're running away? You're seriously leaving me here? She screamed loudly. Hyun-chan. Hyun-chan turned his head, his face filled with rage. That idiot. I told her to hold the line. At this moment, Choi finally lowered her shield. She ran towards the gate. Wait up, Hyun-chan. Nara yelled. What's wrong with you? Hyun-choi still inside. So what? Let go of me. Finally, the door closed in Choi's despair, her hand reaching out to grasp it. No. Open it. Please, Hyun-chan, open the door. Outside, fierce arguing could be heard. Are you out of your mind? She's your girlfriend? Girlfriend? Who cares right now? We're all gonna die in here. Choi will understand. Before long, the horde of monsters had also appeared. This isn't the moment to argue. Choi looked towards the distant light. She tried to run away as fast as she could. Choi thought to herself, I have to make it out of here, no matter what. As long as I'm still breathing, Hyun-chan will come back for me. While running, she suddenly stopped because of the scene before her eyes. A tree was wrapped around the skeleton of the monster, and a beam of light was emitting from within. A branch reached out and offered Choi a ring. Choi thought to herself, what's that? Choi reached out to take the ring. She thought to herself, a ring? Wait, is this a hidden item? Choi put it on her hand. As she put it on, the blue gem suddenly began to glow. A notification screen appeared before Choi's eyes. Parasitic ring? EX rank. I freaking knew it. A series of other notifications appeared. Boosts the wearer's development. Alters the wearer's lifespan. Accelerates healing for the wearer. Death is blocked until incubation ends. Choi raised her hand to touch the screen and said, Is that all? Choi asked, how the hell am I supposed to use this? Suddenly, there was a sky-shattering scream causing Choi to startle and turn around to look. From behind, a swarm of scorpions rushed towards her to attack. Having been attacked unexpectedly, she only had time to say slowly, Someone, please, somebody save me. The swarm of scorpions was surrounding her. Choi pleaded in pain, Stop, please. Choi's hand, having no strength left, fell limply to the ground. Suddenly, the ring on her hand emitted a small beam of light. Can't die until the hatching's complete. Choi suddenly screamed violently. She sat up abruptly as if nothing had happened. She raised her hand and wondered, What? Did I just come back to life? How? Choi looked up ahead. A swarm of aggressive scorpions was waiting to devour her. It was at this moment that Choi finally realized what was happening, and she hurriedly ran away. But luck did not come her way. One of the scorpions caught her. Seeing this, the others immediately rushed over. The notification board appeared. Dead is impossible until hatching is complete. Choi tried to sit up and said, I came back. Again, someone, please help me. I don't want to die. Once again, the aggressive scorpion clawed at her, causing blood to splatter everywhere. Choi screamed in pain, My leg, it's my leg. Please, stop. Don't eat me anymore. Hyun-chan, please, save me. The scorpion seemed to only want to devour her. Choi looked up at it and pleaded. Then, a very loud scream erupted. No. The notification board kept appearing. Death is impossible until hatching is complete. Death is impossible until hatching is complete. How long has it been? Years? No. Maybe even decades? No. The real question is, when do I get to die? Am I just supposed to rot here forever, getting eaten over and over? That's my sword. So it's been here all along. Hyun-chan gave it to me, as a birthday gift, that bastard. He left me here. I told him I didn't want to come, and he shoved me in anyway, for some damn hidden item. Into this nightmare. I swear I will kill you. Choi regained her spirit and strength, grabbed the sword, and stood up. She slashed continuously at that swarm of scorpions. The notification board appeared, monster defeated, strength +2. Choi wondered, what? Then she stood up and continued to fight with a spirit unafraid of death. May stats are going up, this fast. The notification appeared, monster defeated, Aquasi +1. Monster subdued, stamina +1. Wounds from battle are regenerating. Choi gripped the sword tightly and thought, yeah, I get it now. I finally figured out how to use this thing. Then she smiled terrifyingly. Ha 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 ha. She stood before the monsters and said, Come on, you freaks. I'm gonna tear every last one of you apart. I will make it out of here, Hyun-chan, on Hyun-chan, my boyfriend. Just wait for me, a little longer. Just a moment later, the group of monsters had collapsed onto the ground. Hyun-choi delivered a single slash. However, things weren't that easy. She was impaled through the abdomen by a monster. This caused her body to tremble violently. At this moment, the ring took effect. Hyun-choi immediately turned around, slashed at the monster, and shouted, You piece of shit. That slash from Choi severed the heads of the scorpions. Choi slowly pulled out the claw of the monster that had just stabbed her. Ah, damn it, that thing pierced right through me. She continued to display a determined fighting spirit, causing the monsters to hesitate and dare not attack. Come AI me again, you monsters. She asked, What's wrong? Too scared to fight back. The monsters, terrified, fled. Meanwhile, Choi furiously attacked them. Ha ha ha. She thought to herself, this is actually fun. So this what real power feels like. Freaking amazing. I want to kill more, so many more. She flew up, preparing a finishing blow. Choi frantically rushed forward and yelled loudly, Just drop dead already. She punched straight down into the ground, and a burst of power radiated outwards, sending the monsters flying in all directions. The notification board appeared, Sanctum of Eternity cleared, all dungeon life forms eliminated, time logged, 634,434 hours, processing rewards. Choi took a breath to regain her composure. She looked up at the notification board. You've advanced to a rank. Choi continued her train of thought. It's finally done. She laughed savagely. Guess it really dragged on forever. The praying mantises lay sprawled on the ground, letting out cries of pain. Without a moment's hesitation, Choi decisively stomped on them. She laughed loudly with satisfaction. Now it's time to pay those bastards back in full. The scene shifts to another location, a loud scream from someone. How could you lock Hyun Choi in there and shut the damn door? So it was Nara, she yelled loudly. She's your girlfriend, you boss her around non-stop, and now you just ditch her. Hyun-chan crossed his arms and replied, if we'd stayed behind for her, we'd all be corpses by now. You ran too. So why are you trying to act righteously? Nara responded, what you care running your mouth. The man in the red shirt stepped forward to stop the argument. Well, someone had to survive, right? The blonde standing beside him laughed and said, what's wrong? You salty cause you're both just trash tier C ranks. Nara angrily shouted, so what? We're plans are mutuals now. I'm done with all of you, seriously. Once we're out of here, I'm spilling everything you did. The black-haired person wondered, what? The blonde thought, so what if someone dies in a dungeon? Hyun-chan just stood there listening and smiling. Then he spoke up and said, Nara, what if this time you're the one we leave behind? You really think a C rank like you could solo your way out of a B rank dungeon? Nara stammered. On Hyun-chan you. Hyun-chan placed his hand on Nara's shoulder. He asked, why's you looking all scared now? So what I mean is. As Hyun-chan was speaking, someone's loud voice interrupted. Let's all just walk out of here nice and chill, alright? Honestly, Choi's the one who fell behind. A powerful beam of light suddenly appeared, causing everyone confusion and fear. The person approached and continued speaking. Wait, everyone's still here. Been a while, so it was Choi. Everyone wondered, Hyun Choi. Hyun-chan thought to himself fearfully. Been a while, what kind of BS is that? No, seriously. He wondered, how the hell is she even alive? Nara, also panicked, called out Choi's name. Hyun-chan pretended to rush forward and hugged Choi tightly. Hyun Choi. Choi, you made it. I'm so sorry we couldn't come back for you, but we didn't have a choice. It was for the team. Choi coldly replied. Then you understand. I knew you would. Hyun-chan thought to himself smugly. Of course I do. He pretended to care about Choi. Thanks. I figured you'd get it. You have always been understanding. Our Choi. Hyun-chan's expression suddenly darkened. He thought to himself, wait, your outfit's shredded. But you don't have a single wound. That's weird. While she was thinking, someone's hand touched Choi's shoulder. So it was the black-haired person. He said, hey, Choi, thanks for being so chill about it. I'm seriously glad you made it out alive. Now we can finally go beat a boss together again. Choi laughed loudly and replied, wait, you didn't clear it yet. You actually waited for me. Man, I owe you? Or am I just being paranoid? The black-haired person pulled Choi away, chatting happily as they walked. Haha, there's no way I could just leave you there. You have no clue how guilty I felt. Hyun-chan was left standing alone, watching the three of them happily together. Yeah, probably just overthinking. Hyun-chan stood there with an unhappy expression. The scene shifts to the next day. A paw of some animal was stepping on a dry twig. The notification board appeared. Dire Knuckle, C rank, boss monster. Hyun-chan stood silently behind a tree trunk, observing. He gestured for everyone to remain silent. All right, team, gear up. Let's do this like we always do. Choi, you grab aggro. The rest of us will move in when we see an opening. The black-haired person replied. Okay. Hyun-chan continued. Choi, don't let it lock onto anyone else. Choi responded. Roger that. All right, stick to formation. Choi suddenly lunged out to attack the monster. Everyone standing there was terrified. Wait, where the hell is she going? Hey, Hyun Choi. Choi slammed the protective shield into the ground. She used her power to fight. A strong light from all directions surrounded her. The strong wind caused the tree branches to sway and fall. A small beam of light shot directly into the monster's eye, causing it to roar in pain. Hyun-chan shouted out in alarm. She's drawing way too much attention. Itchy nuts. He and his companions rushed out to fight. Fallen behind Hyun Choi, hurry. The monster, enraged by Choi's attack, furiously charged straight towards Choi. Hyun-chan used the magic book. It's fine. It's just a B rank boss. We've handled worse. The monster was not only unafraid, but it also attacked Choi directly. Hyun-chan yelled loudly. As long as Choi tanks like usual, we will be fine. Choi was quick and managed to dodge the monster's attack. Hyun-chan looked up, following Choi's movement. The black-haired person thought to themselves, she's running away. The black-haired person shouted out in fear. That little. If she's just gonna dodge everything. The black-haired person, his face pale, yelled even louder than I. The monster, in a furious rage, charged towards the black-haired person. Its horn pierced straight into the black-haired person's stomach. Everyone who saw that scene was extremely frightened. Even Hyunshan was terrified. As for Choi, she had just landed on the ground at this moment. Choi stood in front of the black-haired person and said, "Bet that stung." Whoops, my bad. I was so freaked out I dodged on reflex. You guys get it right. Choi sat on the back of the monster. She controlled it to crash straight towards those three people. They quickly dodged the monster's attack. Hyunshan yelled loudly in anger, "Hyun Choi, have you lost it? What the hell do you think you are doing?" Hyun Choi asked him back, "What does it look like I'm doing?" Hyunshan sat up and replied, "Quit messing around and get down from there." Hyun Choi asked with a smile, "Messing around? You seriously think I'm just playing games?" All right then. All three of them were afraid they would end up like black hair. Choi didn't stop there. She pulled the monster to signal it to attack. All right then. Her face became more ruthless, and she said, "Let's see who outlasts who." The monster became increasingly excited. It roared and yelled loudly, "Grah." It chased the three of them, causing them to scatter and run in panic. Everywhere it went, it left traces. The three of them sat panting heavily. Blonde Hair asked, "What now?" Hyunshan replied, "I'll use Splash Sneak from the back. You take care of the tanking. I've got a few break scrolls, so I'll chip in too." Blonde Hair said in a panic, "Wait, hang on. I've never tanked a boss before." Hyunshan angrily yelled loudly, "Is that really the problem right now? If we don't move, we're all dead. If you want to live, do what I say. I'm the one leading this party." Blonde Hair said, "Damn it." Hyunshan ran his hands through his hair in frustration and said, "I've got your back. Just hang in there. We're getting out of this alive." Choi spoke at this moment. "All done talking. Then let's pick up where we left off." Hyunshan opened the magic book and recited the incantation. How the hell is a C rank holding its own against a B rank boss? All three of them were ready in a fighting stance. Hyunshan yelled loudly, "Cut it out." Blonde Hair raised his sword and attacked. Blonde Hair struck directly at the monster's head. Hyunshan's face turned pale as he spoke, blocked it. They thought they would defeat the monster, but unexpectedly, it flung Blonde Hair away a distance, and blood splattered everywhere. Nara and Hyunshan froze when they saw Blonde Hair lying in a heap. It was at this moment that Hyunshan truly felt terrified by Choi's power. Choi sat on its back and asked, "What's with this thing? Why is it so freaking strong?" A notification board appeared, scanning, "Dear Knuckle, A. Strength 60-18, Intelligence 69, Stamina 89-20, Agility 50-38, Buff Active Blessing of." Choi wondered, an A rank. Wasn't this thing supposed to be C rank? What the hell? It's got some kind of divine buff. She rested her chin on her hand and thought to herself, the parasitic ring. Is this a hidden item effect? Whatever, let's just take care of this thing first. At this moment, the monster continued to attack Hyunshan. Choi asked, still breathing. Hyunshan looked up at Choi. Choi wondered what. The way she's handling that monster so easily, she definitely picked up something from that secret dungeon. That's probably why her whole vibe changed too. Hyunshan said unexpectedly, "I'm sorry, Choi." Before Choi's eyes was the sight of Hyunshan kneeling in front of her. Choi asked, "Sorry for what?" Hyunshan said with his head bowed, "For running away and leaving you behind, for shutting the door, for expecting you to understand. Just, all of it, everything I did was wrong." Choi asked, "Hyunshan, this is what's wrong with you. Do you seriously not get why I'm mad?" Hyunshan was surprised, so he asked, "What?" Choi replied, "It's just one thing." Hyunshan said with a smile, "Then, can you tell me what it is?" "Yeah, sure, let's go with that." Choi's expression suddenly changed. "The problem is you even existing, you piece of." Hyunshan was bewildered. "Huh?" The monster stepped on the pool of blood. Meanwhile, Choi smiled contentedly. "Ha ha ha ha." Her gaze turned towards Nara. Choi jumped down and said, "Oh right, you're still alive, huh?" Choi called out Nara's name, causing her face to pale. Choi stood with her arms crossed and asked, "Do you want to live?" Nara replied hesitantly, her voice trembling with fear. "Huh? Yeah. Please, let me live." Choi recalled the scene from before. At that moment, Nara yelled loudly, "Hey, are you nuts? Hyun not back yet." Choi gave a truly sinister smile. Choi said to Nara, "All right then, Listen up, Nara replied with her head bowed. Yes, of course. Choi continued speaking. You're only still breathing because you tried to stop me from shutting the door. Let's at least try to stay human. Yeah? Nara replied. Yeah, understood. As the two of them were engrossed in conversation, the beast suddenly attacked from behind. Choi swiftly drew her sword and said, say the wrong thing, and she decisively slashed powerfully at the monster's head. The powerful slash was so strong that the monster was cleaved in two, and blood splattered everywhere. Choi asked coldly, you get it right. Nara could only nod in agreement with Choi. Yes. Choi put her arm around Nara's shoulder and chatted about many things. Good. We're in this together now. Same boat. Yep. If you cross me once we're out there, you're done. Yeah. Absolutely. Cool. Let's get moving. Choi said with a smile. Oh yeah. We should grab the mana stones. Nara was still afraid, and she stammered a reply. Oh right. Okay. Hanshin Guild, Dungeon Management Team. Choi and Nara emerged from the light. This is Hanshin Guild Dungeon Management Team. He asked. Hey, what happened to the others? Nara replied from behind. Ah, they didn't make it. Well, the boss suddenly leveled up. My first. They all tried to shield us, and yeah? Choi pretended to cry loudly. Nara pointed at Choi and said, see, she's crying now. We're kinda out of it too, so we'll just leave the mana stones here and head first. That's all for now. A man asked. 3 B ranks died, and only 2 C ranks returned from a C rank dungeon. Hyun Choi Shimnara. This bearded man is Hanshin Guild, guild master on Baekdeek. On Hyunshin's uncle, he said, explain everything that happened in there, and don't leave out a single detail. He yelled angrily, what did you just say? Who cares if Deer Knuckle ranked up? Your whole job was to back up the damage dealers, and you couldn't even pull that off. Choi listened to his rambling until she felt sleepy, and she let out a long yawn. Nara thought angrily to herself. Choi's the one who did all the killing, so why is she acting so chill? You do realize killing someone in a dungeon could land us both in prison. He said irritably. Ugh, for real, why'd it have to be Hyunchan who died? How the hell am I supposed to tell his dad about this? The company's already barely staying afloat. Choi remained silent, saying nothing. Then she crossed her arms and asked, you're broke, but still dressed luxury brands. He asked curiously, what did you say? Choi said, that dude from one of those high-end labels, right, and the car you pulled up in, gotta be worth tens of millions. She raised her hand to her face, wiped away tears, and then spoke, we risk our necks and get paid scraps, while you're out here living large. He angrily looked towards the people behind him. He thought to himself, what the hell's up with Choi right now? Normally he'd just stay behind Hyunchan, too scared to say a word, like she was the one on trial. He yelled loudly, anyway, you two are going to be held responsible for this. Don't even think about making a break. Find a dungeon to earn tomorrow. Got it? Nara ran over and said, Guild Master, that's way out of line. He continued to yell angrily, shut it. Someone died. Be grateful this is all you're sitting. It's hard enough knowing numbers as it is. We were finally starting to get this guild on its feet, but without Hyunchan, where the hell are we supposed to find replacements? Damn it. Choi, couldn't you have just shut up instead of your boyfriend? Even a C rank like you would have been better. He turned around because he noticed something. Suddenly, Hyun Choi kicked him in the sensitive area of a man. That kick felt like the sky falling, causing him a pain beyond words. He broke out in a sweat and felt like he had just logged out of Earth. It wasn't just him who felt the pain and surprise. Everyone standing there who witnessed the scene felt a sympathetic pang of pain for him. Choi stood there smiling contentedly at her action. Aha! That one landed clean, while he lay clutching himself and groaning in agony. Someone, help. Choi stood with her hands on her hips and said, don't be such a baby dumbass. If you're short on money and hunters, why didn't you go find a dungeon yourself? Oh wait, you're too scared to risk your own skin. He lay there consumed by extreme anger. Choi, are you out of your mind? Is this what you really are without Hyunchan around? Choi clutched her stomach and laughed loudly, saying, haha. Choi, are you out of your damn mind? You really are Hyunchan's uncle. Huh, you really talk just like him. Choi spoke again with that sinister expression. Man, toxic families really do run deep. Damn, that felt good. Choi sat down beside him and said, yeah, I'm crazy enough to die in your precious nephew's place. He frowned and asked curiously, what? are you talking about? Choi replied, exactly what I said, dumbass. And since it's over with Hyun-chan, I'm done talking about him. She stood up and said, also, I'm quitting the guild. He had managed to sit up, and he said, what? No, if you leave the guild. Choi bent her back slightly and replied, should have treated me better while you had the chance. Oh, want another punch for the road. Oh, and one more thing. Choi tossed a banknote down to him and said, here's a little something for Hyun-chan's funeral. Please see him off properly, okay? Choi's mocking gesture infuriated him, and he roared furiously. But for Choi, his anger wasn't frightening in the slightest. It only made her yawn repeatedly. Man, I'm wiped. Nara walked behind and said, thank you all for everything. Wait, the guildmaster's not even awakened, right? Is he gonna be okay? He'll be fine. Nothing exploded. The scene shifts to a house. Choi had changed into new clothes. She looked at the outfit and asked Nara, hey, you into rock bands or something? Nara replied from where she sat, just picked it from a clothing shop. Choi continued, looks sick. Wish I bought something like that. Nara asked, well, you can now, can't you? Choi said sadly. Hyun-chan didn't like it. Nara suddenly turned to ask, what's that supposed to mean? He's dead. Choi asked excitedly, oh right, he is dead. She lay down on the bed and laughed loudly. And I'm the one who killed him. Nara thought to herself, puzzled. This psycho, every time she does that, it freaks me the hell out. Nara asked Choi, hey, sorry, but why'd you suddenly ask to stay at my place? You have your own, don't you? Choi looked at Nara silently. Nara, can I crash here for a while? I used to live with Hyun-chan, you know, so I really don't want to go back there. Nara looked bewildered. Too scared to say no. Nara said, okay, but just for a while. Choi sat up abruptly and said, for real, you're the best. Also, Choi, so I kinda quit the guild too. I just couldn't stick around after all that. What about you? Got a guild lined up? Choi replied with wide eyes, nah, not yet. But then how are you gonna cover rent and stuff? I've got about 20 mil once saved. Should be enough to get by, right? Nara, with 1,000 question marks above her head. Wait, only 20 mil. That's it. Hyun-chan used to brag that he was covering your rent and living expenses. He only paid the deposit. The rest was always split 50/50ths. Can't believe he was faking like that. Nara thought to herself, wait a sec. Why does she sound like she has zero plans? What if she ends up staying here forever? Nope, not happening. Nara asked, so, what are you planning to do now? Find a place, get a job. Choi said sadly, honestly, I don't feel like doing anything right now. I already accomplished everything I wanted, so now I don't really know what's next. Nara said, and what exactly did you accomplish? Choi said with a smile, hunting down and killing every last one of you. I knew she was going to say that. Thanks for not killing me. Ahaha, that reaction's priceless. Suddenly, Choi fell silent. Nara asked, oh, you hungry? Choi replied, yeah, I'm starving. Then the two of them had a conversation. Come to think of it, we haven't eaten all day. Got anything in mind? Chicken, maybe jockball. Dunno, whatever's fine. Hyun-chan wouldn't let me eat this late. Said it'd make me fat. Nara yelled loudly, what? She said angrily, that bastard, good riddance. Choi asked from where she sat on the bed. Whoa, why are you so mad all of a sudden? Nara asked, wouldn't you be pissed? Choi chuckled, you're the first person to ever get mad for my sake. Nara spoke while looking at her phone. Go ask any random person on the street. They'd all say the guy was a lunatic. Anyway, I'll order something. Let's just eat and crash. The more I think about it, the more pissed I get. How do you expect you to tank on an empty stomach? Nara, let's get jockball. Heck, yeah. It was late, so Nara had fallen asleep. Meanwhile, Choi was still awake and lying in contemplation. She thought to herself, something I want to do. It's been a long time since I thought about that. First off, I don't want to go into dungeons anymore. Don't want to join any more guilds either. I just want to rest. Do some odd jobs. Live comfortably. Yeah, that sounds nice. She was dozing off when she suddenly woke up. She sat up abruptly, clutching her stomach, and thought to herself, what the hell was that? In my stomach. There's something inside. I feel like there's something in my stomach. She looked at the ring on her hand and thought to herself, is this the reason? Twirling the ring, she said, it's probably better to take it off for now. The notification popped up. Parasitic ring. X. Once worn, it cannot be removed. Choi continued to think, is this a bound item? Even if it is, I don't think it would be impossible to remove it. Its name is also strange. Choi decided to take off the ring and shouted loudly, I don't care. I'm just going to take it off. Suddenly, a powerful beam of light erupted from Choi's abdomen. Clutching her stomach, Choi thought to herself, what is this? Does this really mean I can't remove the ring? The notification appeared, parasitic ring, affects the wearer. Death is impossible until the hatching is complete. Until the hatching is complete. Choi put her hand to her chin, pondering, I've seen this message in a dungeon before. What is it that's supposed to hatch? She recalled the image from before. No way. Choi suddenly fell silent. After that, she continued to think, this thing saved my life, but that doesn't mean I can relax. I need to take it off. First, I need to figure out what this item is. I can't do it the official way. If an X-grade item becomes known to the world, it'll be a hassle. That means I'll have to go illegally. Before long, the sky had already brightened. Choi remained sitting there, thinking all night without sleeping. It's not over yet. In the taxi, Nara asked Choi, why did you suddenly go to the hospital this morning? Choi replied, I just had a stomach ache. There's nothing wrong. And I want to live with you. Nara startled and shouted loudly, what, no? Choi asked in bewilderment, why can't I? I'll pay rent. That should be fine. Nara replied coldly, even so, no. The house is already too small. Choi said with a smile, if it's too small, we can just move into a bigger place. Nara asked, move into a bigger place. Then, Nara shook her head vigorously and shouted loudly, no, that tempting even so, no. The taxi sped along, filled with the loud conversation of the two people. Then die, why are you talking like that? Then do you want to live with me? No. Choi continued, then just wait until I save up enough money. Then I'll leave. I don't want to go to Hyunchan's house. That's true. So, let's combine our money. Nara said, nope. How are you going to make money? You quit the guild yesterday. Choi said, I will just get a part-time job. Nara also replied, yeah, you'll make a fortune from that. Choi said with a sinister smile, or maybe a dog fight. Nara asked curiously, what? Are you crazy? Why go there? Choi confidently replied, I'll make you money too. Count on me. A dog fight isn't about fight dogs. It's about putting awakened people, ranked C or below, in the ring to fight each other. It's all fighting gambling. The people who bet on the winning side take the money. Nara followed up, wait, you're not a C rank. Isn't it fraud to hide your rank? It doesn't matter, my hunter license says I'm C rank. It's illegal anyway. A small fraud isn't going to make it worse, right? Nara stammered, that's true, but... Nara silently glanced at Choi. Then she replied, okay. Nara asked, if the dividend goes up, we're definitely getting our money back, right? Choi smiled. Haha, you're finally making sense. The two of them had arrived at their destination. Nara asked, this is the dogfight arena. Nara continued, it just looks like a supply store. Choi responded, my little sibling told me about it a while back. Nara asked, you have a sibling? Choi hurriedly left. Let's just go in for now. Nara stopped her. Hey, what if it's not the right place? Choi opened the door and went inside. Sister, I'm looking for something. The woman wearing glasses asked, what are you looking for? Choi showed her some kind of card. It was a card containing Choi's information. The woman wearing glasses said, there were a lot like you. Don't hurt your head too much. Just go and join the guild. Choi replied, I quit the guild yesterday. The woman wearing glasses said, then join it again. If you're a C rank hunter, it's easier to get a job than D or E rank. Choi replied, I'm just talking a short beak. I'm sick of it. She adjusted her glasses, looked at Choi, and asked, what are you sick of? You're just saying things that come from being too fortunate. She looked at Choi for a long moment. Then, she frowned, deep in thought. Then, she asked Choi a question that startled both of them. You killed someone, right? I was wondering why a normal girl like you would come here. Choi was slightly surprised and hadn't had time to react. Then, she burst out laughing and said, sister, why would you say scary things? I've never done that. The woman wearing glasses responded, just go home. You've got the wrong place. Choi bent her back lower. Choi propped her chin on her hand and asked, how can I get you to let me in? The woman wearing glasses looked at Choi. She raised a finger. She gestured for Choi to be silent. But Choi still asked, can I pay by card? She frowned and said, Make sure to bring cash next time. Card payment has an additional 10% fee. Understood. Just go straight down this hallway. Choi pulled back the curtain and stepped inside. Nara followed behind, asking, "Isn't the peanuts fee too expensive? Is your budget fine with it?" Choi turned back and replied, "It's not a big deal. We'll earn a lot of money anyway." The arena buzzed with the excited cheers and shouts of the audience below. "What is this? The only thing that works is cash. I should have brought some cash too." Choi turned, a look of curiosity on her face, and asked, "Do you? Huh? Where is she?" Choi craned her neck, gazing into the distance. Her eyes landed on Nara, who was in the middle of some kind of transaction with a man. She was so scared earlier. Now she's all serious. Wait, did she bring cash? And a lot of it, that traitor. A moment later, Nara returned to her seat. Choi looked at her with displeasure. Nara shouted loudly, "Hey, what's with that look? Did I do something wrong?" Choi frowned and said, "When I paid the fee earlier, you stayed completely silent. Thanks to you, I ended up spending 1 million won." Nara angrily yelled, "Hey, you can handle that amount. Who carries extra money to spare?" Choi asked, "You have your deposit money, right?" The two of them lunged at each other, engaging in a fierce fight. "Is that even my house? It's the landlord's house, and half of it belongs to the bank. I have no place to go now." Suddenly, someone's voice asked, "Is this your first time here?" So it was Dongju. He asked, "Can I sit next to you?" Choi turned to answer, "Yeah, well please do so." Dongju asked, "Who are you betting on?" "Desert." "See." Choi replied, "I'm not betting. I'm going to participate. Who are you planning to bet on?" With a smile, Dongju spoke, "I have got to bet on someone who's definitely strong, for example. Someone like you." Choi thought to himself, "This bastard, did he see my rank?" Then she asked him, "Usually people bet on guys. You don't seem to have much bias, do you?" Choi wanted to investigate his information, but it was no use. Inspect, strength, intelligence, strength, agility. Choi flinched. She thought to herself, the inspect skill isn't working. My current rank is A. That means he's either the same rank or higher than me. Why would a hunter ranked A or higher come to a place like this? What the hell is this guy doing? While Choi was still doubting Dongju, he spoke up and asked Choi, "You know the participant rank limit here is up to C rank, right? Then why are you participating in this? There's no way they didn't check your license. Are you a fraudulent registrant?" Choi was angry. She said, after rudely trying to peek at someone else's rank, "Why don't you just mind your own business and watch the match?" Nara pulled Choi's hand back and yelled loudly at Dongju, "What are you talking about, mister? We have our hunter licenses." Dongju turned to face the other way and answered, "Right." Nara continued to yell loudly, "If you've been drinking, just get drunk peacefully. Don't go picking fights with innocent people." Choi asked Nara curiously, "Mister, who are you talking about?" Nara answered angrily, "He's right next to you. Right next to you. His nose is all red from drinking." Nara's point of view. Choi continued to wonder, "Huh? Are my eyes messed up? He totally looks our age." Nara yelled loudly, "What are you saying? He's totally a bald old man." Choi turned and said irritably, "What the heck? His hair's super thick though." Dongju clutched his stomach and laughed loudly. "Wow, that's some harsh talk. The guy you're talking to might actually get hurt." Haha. Choi was confused. Huh? What just happened? It suddenly occurred to her. No way. Did he use a special item to hide his identity? The bell rang, signaling the start of the match. The ruler of the desert, the storm of the sea, the match begins. Nara was eager. Wow, it has begun. Seeing Dongju still laughing loudly, Nara turned to him angrily. "Mister, if you don't want to get kicked out, just watch the match. My money's on the line here." Dongju answered. All right. Choi continued to think. Most people here are non-awakened or low-ranked hunters. If your rank is low, I guess you can't even see this guy's face. This is Park Deoksu, I rank. And this person is Shim Baeyun, D rank. Nara turned and asked, "Who do you think will win?" Choi answered with her arms crossed. Still, rank usually decides it. Hearing that, Nara became even more excited. "Right, that's why I bet on the D rank." Dongju turned to Nara and said, "You should switch now while you can." Nara answered angrily, "Mind your own business." Park Deoksu, I rank, dodged the attack, then seized the opportunity to defeat Shim Baeyun, D rank. Nara cheered anxiously, "No, get up." Shim Baeyun, the D rank, charged in and attacked relentlessly. Choi sat below, laughing to provoke Nara. Haha, this is a total dogfight. The E-rank used its sharp teeth to bite the D-rank's hand hard once. Dongju asked. He sharpened his teeth nice and pointy. Choi also wondered. Look like he's gonna lose. Nara wouldn't accept the truth. She turned and answered. What? Don't jinx it like that. Dongju answered. Come on, stop denying reality. Choi said with a laugh. That E-rank's playing super dirty. Hearing the two others speak, Nara turned pale with fear. What are you two even talking about? Didn't you see me bet 300? He's going to counterattack soon. The referee's voice rang out. Reller of the desert wins, Dongju said, but he's out cold. Hearing the news, Nara felt like her soul had left her body. My money. Nara collapsed, screaming in despair, my 300. Dongju laughed at Nara's pain. Despite her suffering, I told you. You should have listened to me. Choi was the same. She also clapped and laughed gleefully. This dogfight is seriously hilarious. Angrily, Nara grabbed Choi's shirt. Hey, how can you laugh right now? You said the D-rank would win. What about my money? Choi's face turned cold. She asked, what the hell are you doing right now? Nara startled. She changed her attitude immediately. Sorry, I lost my mind for a second. When are you joining a match? You said I just have to bet on you, right? Annoyed, Choi stomped off. I'm not doing it. I changed my mind. Nara asked. Hey, where are you going? You said you'd help me make money. Choi thought to herself irritably. Be thankful I didn't grab you by the collar harder. Anyway, that item earlier seemed illegal. If he used it just to hide his identity like that, is he a criminal? Or maybe. Choi hailed Dongju. Hey. Dongju turned back and asked. What? You gave up participating? Guess you do have some conscience. Choi approached Dongju and answered. How could I participate after getting caught red-handed? Since I couldn't make money because of you. Take responsibility. Dongju answered. Are you crazy? Why me? Don't waste that great rank rotting here. Go join a guild. You'll make way more money than in a place like this. Choi placed her hand on Dongju's shoulder and answered with a smile. It's a hobby. Just a hobby. Then what about you? Why are you hanging around here? Even going as far as using illegal items. Also just a hobby. I pretended not to notice your little scam. How about you mind your own business now? Choi moved closer. I don't want to. I need the distribution network, you know. Where did you get it, that item? Why? Are you planning to become a criminal? Sorry, I have no intention of telling you. You're really strict, huh? Suddenly, a loud noise caught their attention. The police burst in, yelling, illegal gambling raid, arrest them all. Dongju held his head wearily, and he asked Choi, getting caught would be a hassle, why don't you just leave? Choi took Dongju's hand. Well then, why would I? Dongju brushed his hand away and asked, what are you doing? Choi asked Dongju, choose. Will you take me there, or get arrested with me, right now? Dongju pulled his hand back. He kept brushing Choi's hand away, but she wouldn't let go. You crazy bitch, let go of me. Choi said with a delighted laugh. Ha, I'm never letting go even if I die. A police officer behind them spotted Dongju, and he shouted loudly, over there, get him. Choi chimed in, saying, wow, officer, come get this guy. Outside a building, a large explosion just occurred. Dongju and Choi quickly ran outside. The two had run quite a distance. Choi asked Dongju from behind, wow, is it really okay to wreck the whole building? Dongju answered coldly, just move it and follow me already. What are you even planning to do there? You trying to turn into a real criminal or something? Choi answered with a smile, I'm just gonna get my item appraised, and if it's decent, maybe I'll grab a few things too. Choi asked, what is your rank? Dongju answered, if you are that curious, see for yourself. Choi answered, sorry, but I cannot even see it. Dongju scowled, looking annoyed. Then level up if it bothers you. Choi retorted just as fiercely, you really make tough stuff sound way too easy. The two ran, panting, gasp, gasp. Choi stopped to catch her breath by a tree. Choi thought to herself, he is insanely fast. What the hell? There is no way he is just an A rank. This guy, is he seriously an S rank? Choi spoke up, asking, how much further are we going? Dongju answered, we have arrived. Choi wondered, this is the place. Dongju rotated the rock, presumably to open the cave entrance. He said, once we are inside, don't say my name. Choi wondered, I don't know you. All right. What? You some kind of big shot. You are probably the only hunter who hasn't heard of me. Kim Dong-ju. We look about the same age. Should I just speak casually? Go ahead. How old are you? 26. Oh, same here. Nice to meet you. After stepping inside, Choi was extremely excited and surprised. Wow. Can't believe there's a place like this inside a cave. They really managed to dig up all kinds of crazy stuff. Who even makes caves like this anyway? Hunters do this kind of stuff too. People who awakened as hunters with criminal records, or those who turned to crime afterward, usually end up in places like this. How do you know all that? I used to hang around here back in the day. Oh, I knew it. You are an ex-criminal. I'm not. Then what do you do now? Someone like you. Do you run a guild or something? I'm just affiliated with one. Which guild? That's a secret. Dong-ju led Choi to a spot where an old person was looking at something for Choi. How strange. I can't read anything. Miss, where'd you get this? Choi answered, found it in a dungeon. It's a bound item, so it won't come off my finger. She asked, that's impossible. No matter what, there's always a way to remove it, right? Standing beside them, Dong-ju interjected, it wouldn't budge, so I came all the way here. Is there seriously no way to take it off? The old woman said, I've never seen anything like this before. Choi looked at her silently. She thought to herself, so even they have no clue. She thought to herself, mind if I give it a shot? Yeah, go ahead. The old woman tried to take the ring off Choi's hand. Suddenly, a powerful beam of light emitted from Choi's abdomen, causing her immense pain. The old woman was also utterly terrified. Choi explained, it hurts when I try to take it off. Same thing happened last night. The old woman said, that's one weird item. I don't think I can properly appraise it, but let me at least check its name. What's the item called? Choi thought to herself, the item name. I can't risk talking about this yet. Then she answered, it just says unknown. The old woman frowned and answered, sorry, I can't give you an appraisal. I won't charge anything. Got it. Having finished speaking, Choi stood up and said goodbye, then I'll be heading out. Suddenly, Choi noticed something. It was an earring. Shadow earring C hides the wearer's stars. However, it has no effect on someone 2 ranks or more above. Choi picked it up and thought to himself, hides my stats. If I have this, even an S rank won't be able to tell what rank I am. Choi turned and asked, how much for this? The old woman replied, 300. That kind of item's pretty useless for a low rank like you. You sure about this? Choi excitedly replied, I'm sure. You take cards, right? The old woman frowned in confusion. Dong-ju, seeing this, spoke up. Fine, give it here, I'll pay. Choi immediately put it on her ear. Choi asked Dong-ju, hey, can you still see my rank? Dong-ju turned and replied, nope, since you're A rank, it only hides from S rank and up, right? Choi said, yeah, it won't work on S plus or higher. Not like I'll ever run into someone like that. Don't be so sure, you just might. Dong-ju changed the subject. Anyway, let's talk about that item. What kind of gear hides someone's rank like that? Choi quickly ran to another spot to avoid Dong-ju's question, surprising him with her speed. Whoa, this thing is awesome. She's fast. Dong-ju approached, clicking his tongue. Choi sat there, also feeling uncomfortable, and thought to herself, so annoying, should I try finding another appraiser? If word gets out, it'll just cause more problems. But I can't just let this go, either, isn't there another way? That's the hidden dungeon. If I go back there, maybe I'll figure it out. There are a total of 11 hidden dungeons in the world. One of them is in Korea. Also, there are 2 duplicated hidden dungeons. Dungeons don't disappear after being cleared. They reset. That means the hidden dungeon I entered must have reset too. I need to check out as many dungeons as I can. I'll find it and return this ring to where it belongs. But I can't enter dungeons without a guild. Do I really have to join another guild? I really don't want to. Dong-ju stood beside her, thinking. He recalled his conversation with the old woman from earlier. What kind of item costs 300? Just take 200, 230. That's my final offer. You scammer. Now you're just all about money. You couldn't even appraise it properly. You should just retire already. Retire? My ass. Anyway, did a new dungeon appear or something? Otherwise, I would have heard about an item like that. Dong-ju remained silent for a moment. Oh, right. You said you just cleared a dungeon, right? Anyway, I'm off, Granny. Don't call me that. Dong-ju sat down next to Choi. Choi, was it? I collect rare items as a hobby, you know. Choi held up the ring and said, "So what? You want this, didn't you see? It won't come off." Dong-ju held Choi's hand tightly. "Even if it doesn't, there's always a way. I could always take the whole finger. That's a pretty messed up hobby. Still, it's weird. There haven't been any new dungeons lately, but an item even Granny has never seen shows up. You went into a hidden dungeon, didn't you? Damn it. So that's why he offered to guide me so nicely. This bastard. He's been hiding all that mana this whole time. Just a 1-rank gap, and the pressure's this overwhelming. But even so, compared to the despair I felt that day," Choi angrily yelled. Choi gathered her immense power. A powerful beam of light radiated from Choi, causing Dong-ju to stagger. Dong-ju thought to himself, what the hell? Did she just use a skill outside a dungeon? Normally, when an awakened faces a higher rank, they instinctively back down to someone stronger, but this girl, that instinct's just gone. Like it was ripped out of her. Was she born this way? Or did something happen to make her like this? A moment later, everything was desolate and ruined. Does it even matter at this point? Choi provoked Dong-ju. Go on. Try and take it, you bastard. Dong-ju was wary of Choi, and he backed away. Sorry, guess I took that joke a little too far. If it's this woman, she can find the hidden dungeon. You need to more about item, right? Then there's only one option. Let's find the hidden dungeon together. I will help you. The scene shifts to Nara. I'm not eating. Choi bought food for Nara and said, seriously, it's Jockball. You love this stuff, don't you? I even brought soju. Fine, whatever. I'm eating alone. Nara turned and said to Choi sorrowfully, you think Jockball's the issue right now? Where the hell did you even? How could you just leave me like that? The whole building collapsed. It was a disaster. Choi said, you guys ditched me too? Nara continued to scream in pain. Well, yeah, but still. Choi asked while gnawing on a pork knuckle, you done freaking out? Nara replied shyly, yeah. Nara asked, what are you going to do for money now? The fight ring's shut down. Want to prep for a guild job with me while you have got time? Choi replied, nah, I'm good. I'm heading back to the dungeons. I will be out late for a while. Nara suddenly yelled, what? Why would you go back there? No. How even? Choi asked in bewilderment. Dungeon roulette. Nara asked rapidly. That's not what I meant. You are unaffiliated. How are you even getting in? Choi replied calmly. Already handled it. Kim Dongju said he'd help. Nara was annoyed. What? Wait, Kim Dongju the S rank. Choi said, yeah, that is the one. You recognized the name real fast, but you didn't realize he was sitting right next to me. Nara was angry. Don't screw with me. Why would he be at some underground fight ring? That guy next to you just looked like some old dude. He's got to be a fake or something. Here, look, I even snapped a pic of Kim Dongju's majestic face. Haha, seriously, how do you mistake someone like that? He's got to be way older too. Nara said, you know the Rebellion Guild, right? He's with them. Choi asked back in bewilderment. I'm telling the truth. What? He's from the Rebellion Guild. Nara stood up and yelled, for real. That guy was really him. How is that even possible? Choi asked, was he using a disguise item? Nara was utterly panicked. What the hell? You could have told me sooner. I said so much dumb crap without even knowing. Choi said playfully, it's fine. He doesn't care. Nara sighed. No way I can even ask to join now. Choi asked, what is so great about Rebellion anyway? It's insanely great. If you get into Rebellion, you never have to stress about money again. Even the benefits are top tier. Rebellion Guild, a guild founded by one of only 2 SS ranks in the entire world. Home to 3 of the 8 current S ranks. Their overwhelming power gives them influence equal to entire nations. Simply put, Rebellion is the world's leading guild. Nara asked, the chances of joining, 1 in 1,000, is it good? Choi replied while eating, yes. The scene shifts to a conversation between Choi and Dong-ju. Dong-ju asked, what's up with you? Choi replied, nothing, just wild that you are in Rebellion. Dong-ju replied with a laugh. How do you even find out? I was going to keep it secret. Dong-ju asked, why are you taking that with you? Choi replied, are not you heading to the dungeon? Dong-ju sighed. You will see once we are inside. Let's go. Choi wondered, ugh, what is it? Just tell me already. Dong-ju was tired of Choi constantly nagging in his ear. Quit whining and follow me. And don't let your guard down. Illegal dungeons are way more dangerous than you think. A lizard monster lunged to attack Choi. Lizard soldier F rank, common monster. But before it could do anything, Choi defeated it. You told me to stay alert, but this is barely anything. Meanwhile, Dongju was both defeating monsters and talking with Choi. And you actually believe that, idiot. Most illegal dungeons are D rank or lower. Hearing that, Choi felt a slight annoyance. Oh really? You little punk. You are so dead later. You sure will find a hidden dungeon in this place. Doesn't matter. Most hidden dungeons have been discovered in low-level areas anyway. That's why we search everywhere, legal or not. That shield's annoying. Just shove it in your inventory. Acting like you just got bumped to a rank. Choi said uncomfortably, shut it. Another lizard appeared. Dongju, standing on the cliff, said, we haven't even found the dungeon yet, and this thing's already showing up. This is Lizard General Rank E, boss monster. Dongju asked, so what now? Want to scout around more before we take down the boss? Choi hesitated, thinking, I'm hearing the noise. The monster looked around, scree. But before it could do anything, Choi took its head. Don't waste time. If it hasn't shown up by now, it's not here. Let's go. I've got stuff to do. Let's hit another dungeon. The scene shifts to another monster attacking Choi. Choi tried to block its attack. Choi pleaded, Hyunchan, help me. I can't hold on much longer. Someone's hand was placed on Choi's shoulder. Choi. It turned out to be Hyunchan. Do me a favor and die in my place. That is what my family's been sponsoring you for. Then Hyunchan pushed Choi. You should at least earn your keep, right? Choi fell to where a swarm of praying mantises was waiting to eat her. Suddenly, Choi sat bolt upright, gasping for breath. It turned out she had been dreaming all along. Choi was panicked, and sweat was pouring down her. Choi's hands were shaking uncontrollably. Damn it. Choi clenched her hands and said, if I'm dead, then I'm dead. Why the hell is he showing up in my dreams? Look at her sleeping like a baby. Some of us cannot even sleep properly, you know? Sure, she is crawling up to me now because her wants to live. But she'll come stab me in the back eventually. I could kill her any time, but now's not the right moment. Once I deal with what's inside me, I'll never have to enter a dungeon again. I'll be free from everything when that day comes. Nara yelled loudly, I'm late. Choi asked, where you headed? Nara answered, I've got an interview at the Wayne Guild. Nara asked, ugh, seriously, why didn't my alarm go off? Choi asked again, want a ride? Nara answered, what are you talking about? You don't even have a car. Nara panicked when she saw the familiar car. Stepping out of the car was none other than Dongju. Hi. We met the other day. Remember, how've you been? Nara yelled loudly, and Mr. Kim Dongju, what are you doing here? Choi stepped out and interjected, he is our age. Talk normally. Dongju inquired, and why do you get to decide that? Nara, still panicked, stammered, and Mr. Kim Dongju, about that time, I was wrong. Dongju hadn't even done anything yet, but Nara's face had already turned pale. Please don't kill me. Choi was also bewildered. Huh, she fainted, Dongju said with a smile. What a funny guy. After talking for a while, Nara also agreed to get in the car and go with Dongju and Choi. Choi asked, Nara, where should I drop you? Nara answered absently, over there across the street by the traffic light. Dongju asked, which guild are you interviewing with? Nara answered wearily, Wan. Choi spoke up and asked, oh, didn't their guild master explore a hidden dungeon once? Dongju replied, yeah, that's the one. It helped their guild expand big time. Why not go dungeon hunting with them? I don't like them. We don't get along. Choi and Dongju argued, making Nara even more scared. So does that mean you do get along with me? Enough to want my fingers? We're just working together. That's it. Isn't it me who's working with you, though? Nara thought to herself, please argue after I'm gone. The scene shifts to another location, where a man wearing sunglasses speaks. Ah, you are here. Dongju approached and asked, what's the status? The man wearing sunglasses replied, you are clear to enter. Choi asked from behind, who are these clowns? Dongju replied, they are from the guild managing this zone. You didn't know illegal dungeons had guilds managing them too. Choi frowned and answered, seriously, I should just report you. Dongju answered with a smirk, that'd be your problem too. Choi asked, then why don't you team up with Wan's guildmaster? Hard pass. Choi asked seductively, anyway, we can head in now, right? Dongju answered, concerned for her, let us find for and get out. Two dungeon managers standing behind showed admiration, making Dongju's face turn red with embarrassment. Frustrated, Dongju turned and snapped. What are you staring at? Punks, just stay on lookout duty. Dongju said with a sigh of relief. Seriously, what are you smiling about all of a sudden? All right then, let's see what we find today. Choi stood waiting for Dongju and then complained. What the hell? Why isn't he coming? I just want to get this over with. Suddenly, the ring on Choi's hand glowed. What the? Why is it acting like that all of a sudden? After looking closely again, the ring on her hand was no longer glowing. Choi thought to herself, am I imagining things? That dream last night fell off too. Should I just rip this damn finger off? Dongju came out and asked, Hey, what are you doing over there? Startled and angry, Choi yelled loudly. What took you so long? Wanna die? Whoa, sorry. Dongju thought to himself, total diva. Choi looked at the ring and thought, no, not yet. I still need more intel. Forcing it won't get rid of what's inside me. We just need to find a hidden dungeon fast. 1 month later, giant eagles soared in circles in the sky. These eagles not only have 2 eyes, but also a third eye right in the middle of their foreheads. One of them swooped down towards Choi, just like the other monsters. All of them were brought down by Choi's attack. Not a single monster could touch Choi. She tore them all apart. Dongju trained while thinking to himself, she's going way too hard today. Something must have happened. Either way, looks like we are walking away empty again. Dongju was about to speak up and tell Choi to stop training. Hey, let's just. But before he could finish speaking, Choi turned back to look at him with sharp eyes full of anger and resentment. She lunged straight at him, intending to strangle Dongju. But Choi's strength wasn't enough to take down Dongju. He blocked her attack. What is with the sudden aggression? Want to test your strength against mine? Dongju also became excited. He pushed Choi away, then I won't hold back. Choi was pushed away but still managed to stay on her feet. Choi was now no different from a wild beast. She suddenly awoke, regaining her composure. Choi thought to herself, what was that just now? You look tired. Take a break here. I'll go take care of the boss. After Dongju finished speaking, he left. Choi gasped for breath. She thought to herself, what the hell did I just do? Is finding the hidden dungeon even the right move? The longer this goes on, the stranger my body feels. Like this thing is trying to take over. What should I do? It was already dark, and Choi returned home. Nara, I'm back. Huh, what is with the face? Something happened. Nara said. Her eyes filled with tears. Rejected again today. Why is it so hard to land a job these days? What about you? Choi answered. Same, nothing but dead ends. It has been a month, and still no progress. Let's just eat. What is this? Jockball, we have still got soju, right? Of course. Damn it. Why is getting a job so damn hard? Is it because I'm just a basic-ass buffer, and only C rank on top of that? This shitty life. Why did I have to awaken as a buffer? Choi thought to herself. I have to find that hidden dungeon tomorrow. I just want to get stronger. Can't you just kill monsters to boost stats? Yeah, if I had 100 years, and I'm not even combat type. Then there is really nothing you can do. That is so cruel. Nara thought in silence. Nara asked suddenly, how did you get so strong? Was it because of the item you got from that hidden dungeon? Must be nice. Maybe I should go dungeon hunting with you. Choi paled and thought to herself. Must be nice. I hate everything about where I am right now. Nara answered. If I could just power up from a single item like you, I could get into a guild in no time. Why can't I be lucky like you? Choi thought to herself. Lucky, swarmed by mantises, unable to die, just used as endless food, torn apart over and over. I got strong because I had no choice but to survive. Running your mouth without knowing a damn thing. Should I just kill you right now? Nara continued to complain incessantly. Then maybe people would stop looking down on me. I probably would have made a fortune like all the other hunters. Choi asked suddenly, you think I'm lucky? Guess you've lost all sense of guilt. Huh, saying crap like that. Nara realized Choi's anger was rising. Wait, Choi, that is not what I meant. Choi asked coldly, then what did you mean? Nara said, trembling with fear, sorry, I must have gone crazy for a second. I was drunk. Nara thought to herself, what the hell did I just say to her? I barely made it out alive from there. What if she suddenly decides to kill me? What do I do now? Nara said, trembling and stammering, I'm sorry. Please pretend you didn't hear that. I really messed up. Choi looked at Nara in silence. Choi sighed and thought to herself, what would she even know? Of course she'd be curious. Choi said, let's just finish the jockball. But don't ever say that kind of crap again, Nara stammered. Yeah, got it. The atmosphere became strangely silent. Choi held the glass of wine for a long time. Nara, you know I almost died in there, right? But at the same time, I found this ring. Nara was still wary. So you mean you survived because of the ring? Choi answered wearily. This ring didn't have such a convenient ability. Like I said earlier, there is only one way to raise your stats. Kill a lot, so many that you lose count. What? No, wait, that makes no sense. What do you mean? What? How did you? A tank, kill that many mantises. No, more importantly, you came out right after we closed the gate, and you were saying you raised your stats in that short time. Nara put down her chopsticks in silence. What exactly happened to you in there? I died a lot of times. Thousands of times, maybe tens of thousands. Even when my arms were ripped off or my head got cut off, I'd come back. I honestly wanted to die. I don't even get what you were saying. You mean you kept dying in there? Yeah, hard to believe. I know, but I just kept dying and kept killing. That is how I got strong. Back then, I resented it so much. I didn't want to be strong or have some rare item. So I couldn't understand why I had to suffer like that. When I came out, time hadn't moved at all outside. You guys were still standing in the same place. That is all there is to it. That is how I got strong. That is insane.